Welcome to this edition of McAllen Update. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm ROXANNE LERMA.
And I'm Roy CANTU here at the McAllen Central Fire Station.
That's right, we are wearing our fire engine red in honor of our firefighters here in the city of McAllen. Located at 201 North 21st Street, this is the flagship station for the city. The McAllen Fire Department has a total of 7 substations strategically placed throughout the city, plus 1 warehouse and a unique training field. Firefighters get hands-on training at the high-tech tower on La Lomita Road, which houses several props for live burns. There are 167 certified firefighters in McAllen, and community outreach has become a main focal point. Last fiscal year, the department reached nearly 90,000 adults and 54,000 kids through outreach programs. The department responds to over 5,000 incidents per year, including car accidents and fire calls.
Speaking of the fire department, a few firefighters were treated to some unusual training recently. Here's ROXANNE LERMA with more details.
That's right, Roy. Some unusual training indeed. We're actually outside the Wingate Hotel today, where our McAllen firefighters are getting some pretty unusual aerial training. For more on that, Captain James Farrell from the McAllen Fire Department joining us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here today.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about this aerial training that we're having.
The aerial training that we're providing is to provide proficiency in our ladder trucks. We have 2 ladder trucks in the city of McAllen that are very similar, and we're concentrating on maintenance of those units as well as maintaining our skills and how we operate them.
So we actually have new employees, new firefighters that are really getting some hands-on training. So why is it so crucial for them?
We felt in the McAllen Fire Department it was crucial because of we've hired a lot of people over the last several years, and we want to make sure everybody's on the same page. We want to make sure everybody knows how much water is carried on the truck, how tall the aerial ladder is, how many ground ladders we carry on the truck, all those kind of things. We wanted to make sure all the firefighters were on the same page when it comes to our fire apparatus.
Is it important for it to become somewhat of second nature when they actually get out here, rather than learn from a book, you get the hands-on experience?
Exactly. We really don't want to learn on the fire ground how to operate the units. I wouldn't say it's necessarily second nature, because there's always that room for a mistake or an error. So we constantly try to train on our apparatus. But we do want to become proficient enough to where it's a smoother transition when we're on the fire ground.
So God forbid if we were to have a multi-story building and a fire were to break out, so how important is it that they're actually doing this and learning what to do in a case of a situation like that?
Well, fortunately in the city of McAllen, most of the time when we've used our aerial ladders, it's been for fire attack for a building that's fully involved. We want to make sure that we're adequate when we use our aerial for rescue, and that's one of the main reasons why we're out here training, is to make sure we're proficient in how the aerial ladder is used in a rescue situation.
This is actually part of a whole 16-hour training course. There was the lecture side of it, and now we're seeing the hands-on side of it, correct?
Correct. We covered lecture on, like I said, maintenance, the different major components of the apparatus, from the engine all the way to the ladder itself, maintenance, cleaning, inspecting, and then strategies and tactics to cover not only rescue, but fire attack, ventilation, all the types of things we would do on a fire scene.
Captain Farrell, thank you so much for filling us in on all that vital information. And there you have it, Roy. Our firefighters hard at work. Now back to you.
Thanks, ROXANNE, and some more exciting news for the McAllen Fire Department. The department has a new addition, a Class A pumper truck. It's special because it can pump an additive to help firefighters during a fire. It's equipped with a 500-gallon tank for initial service, which can be emptied in 2 minutes. With 7 fire substations in McAllen, the fire department outfits a pumper truck at every substation. Substation number 4 at the airport will house this new pumper.
Provide fire protection to the citizens of McAllen, and with a lot of safety features that are added to the truck.
The pumper truck is valued at about $600,000 and has a lifespan of about 15 years. This fire truck is also equipped with emergency medical supplies to assist first responders during emergency situations. And more good news for our emergency responders. There's actually some new additions for the McAllen Police Department as well. The McAllen City Commission has approved the purchase of 25 vehicles for the PD. 21 of those vehicles will be new police squad vehicles. Due to changing times, the cars will no longer be the traditional Crown Victorias, but a new Ford Explorer, which is a small SUV. The new Ford Explorer with a police package will be transitioning in the next few years. These vehicles are made for police business because they're equipped with a heavy-duty engine, transmission, and radiator that can withstand hotter conditions.
We're moving to the new police vehicle that Ford is making, and that happens to be a Ford Explorer. It's a small SUV. As we make this transition, we're also transitioning our fleet to the new detail, the new decals, and you've got an example right behind me. We went through a process of trying to air out options and trying to migrate from the old to the new, and we thought this one reflected well for McAllen PD and the City of McAllen.
Also, the police department will be updating their look on the outside too. This is the new striping that the McAllen Police Department will be using on all their squad cars. It will take several years to transition to the family striping of yellow and blue to red and blue. The McAllen Convention Center recently played host to the McAllen Infrastructure and Safety Summit. More than 600 South Texas workers attended the training to learn how to do their jobs safely. Roy Cantu has that story.
I'm Roy Cantu here right behind the McAllen Convention Center at the McAllen Safety Summit. With me right now is a very special person who's been putting on some classes for some local people down here in South Texas, Rick Lemons, who's with TEEX.
I'm with TEEX. Yes, I am.
Sir, tell me what's going on at the Safety Summit.
Well, the Safety Summit is covering a lot of safety issues, especially in the construction world and some of the water, wastewater issues that we face, and a lot of the OSHA compliance issues. I know some of the classes that are going on are pump and motor supply and repair. We're doing confined space for those entrants that have to work in confined spaces in both water, wastewater, electrical operations. Out here we're actually doing some backhoe work and excavation safety because we have a lot of people that die in excavations every year. So we're attempting to instill the safe work practices of these guys to keep their people out of hazardous areas down in the excavations.
You have hundreds of people attending the conference right now.
I think we're somewhere in the neighborhood of 600, 650 people. That's what I'm thinking now.
And the area right down here in South Texas, right?
Right here in the McAllen, Brownsville, Edinburgh, that's where most of our students are from, right?
Explain to me, what is TEEX? What do you all do?
TEEX, we are part of the Texas A&M system. It stands for Texas A&M Engineering Extension Service. We were founded and joined part of the A&M system in 1948, I believe. We train firefighters, emergency rescue personnel. We train construction outfits to comply to the OSHA standards. We work with municipalities and emergency response to get all the public services, all utilities back on after hurricanes and natural disasters. You may have heard Texas Task Force 1. That is part of us, our emergency response team. Anytime there's a natural disaster or man-made event in the state, then we respond. We train, respond, and serve the people of the state of Texas.
And what people don't understand is you practice safety first.
Safety is our number one concern. You'll notice I've got several guys out here that we monitor. Everything we do, safety is the first thing. Everybody that comes into my class, they go back home this afternoon with all their fingers and toes. Somebody at home wants them to come home today. I'm going to make sure they get there.
Well, everyone told us you need to go outside to the back to see the backhoe training because that's probably going to be the most interesting that you can show and tell. Tell me about some of the training that's going on.
These guys are learning to do the different, what we call excavation safety practices. We have learned how to type the soil. There's different types of soil, type A, type B, type C. And you type the soil to determine how safe the excavation can be made, what practices we have to put in play to make that excavation safety for people to enter and work in it.
And how are the students doing so far?
Oh, they're great. They seem to love what's going on. We got a great bunch of guys we're working with. Everybody is eager to learn. They've been exposed to things that they had no clue this is the way you do things. So I hope I never pick up the paper and read that somebody in this part of the country got hurt in an excavation. If that happens, I've done my job.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Lemons. And that's Mr. Lemons, Rick Lemons with TEEX here at the McAllen Safety Summit at the McAllen Convention Center. For the City of McAllen, I'm Roy Cantu.
Thanks, Roy. In other news, street improvements thanks to our 2013 bond election are well underway. There are 8 key intersections like 23rd and Hackberry, Pecan and McCall, and 23rd and Kendallwood, just to name a few, that will be part of a plan for intersection safety improvements. Several other roads like this one on 29th and Oxford Avenue will be undergoing extensions to improve the area.
This 29th Street road improvements are proposed to extend from Oxford to 107 University Drive. This would include widening the existing roadway with a curb and gutter section, utilizing bike lanes through 2 lanes back and forth, and then a continuous left turn lane.
The entire series of street improvements should be completed by early 2016.
Several U.S. congressmen made a pit stop in McAllen. The political leaders were in the Rio Grande Valley to hear from local leaders, healthcare workers, and produce growers about the challenges facing our area. The U.S. representatives were impressed with the explosive growth in South Texas.
What strikes you is just the future is so bright for the valley, and you see all the growth that's coming this direction, and the new medical school, all that goes with the university. But that growth brings challenges. So what we got to do is listen to our local healthcare, city, county leaders, others, about the need for more infrastructure, especially on trade and border crossings, the need for better healthcare.
The growth has been phenomenal. I've been very impressed with what I've seen from an infrastructure standpoint. More importantly, though, I've been impressed with what I've seen in terms of how the leadership of the communities here in the valley have pulled together to try to make this an economic powerhouse.
And we've been able to meet with some of them here today in McAllen, and to hear from the president of the school and the chief of police and this chamber and others as to what specific issues that McAllen is dealing with. And you've got a great team in place to deal with that. But my colleagues and I are really impressed with what we've seen.
In other headlines, the University of Texas Pan American's PA program has received a significant pat on the back from Apple for its innovative use of iPads in the classroom. Reporter Jennifer Bergholm has that story.
Students in the University of Texas Pan American's Physician Assistant Studies program have been getting some high-tech assistance in school. For the past 2 years, the PA students have been using iPads in the classroom and labs to help them with their studies. Students say the iPads are an invaluable tool.
Last week we learned how to intubate a patient. So as I was going through the PowerPoint, it's like I would just switch apps and I would go to YouTube and look up a video on how to intubate a patient. So it really reinforces the knowledge, and it gives you, I'm a visual learner, so it just concretes everything very well.
The PA students say they use the tablets for just about everything, from reading electronic versions of their textbooks to taking notes and looking up information on the internet.
I think a lot of us are pretty much married to these. If we misplaced it, we would sort of not know what to do with ourselves at this point. Our whole PA student lives are on these iPads, and they will be even more so once we're out in clinic and we're doing case notes and things with them.
Physician Assistant Studies Program Director Frank Ambri says the UTPA program is the first PA program in the country to incorporate the iPads.
We believe we're a very innovative, leading edge of technology program. And so we looked at what other schools were doing. There were 9 medical schools that were incorporating iPads. And we looked at why they were doing it and the successes they were having. And we decided that it was our turn to do it.
Apple, which makes the iPad, recently gave UTPA its Distinguished Program Award for its use of the tablets. UTPA's program is one of 25 universities in the world to receive this award.
When we decided to go with the iPads, we contacted Apple, and they sent one of their representatives down here, and they said, this is what the other programs are doing, and we would like to have you guys come on board. So they've been a team player with us, and so they've been looking at what we're doing, and they were the ones that nominated our program because of the things that we were doing. With the iPads. They nominated us for the Apple Distinguished Award. It's very prestigious because the criteria to meet is very, very stringent. And for us to get that award means a lot.
I'm Jennifer Bergholm reporting for UTPA, the McAllen Cable Network, and ExploreMcAllen.com.
There are about 100 students enrolled in the PA program. As you know, Roxanne, it's the end of an era in McAllen.
That's right, Roy. March 31st was City Manager Mike Bettis' last day on the job.
A reception and retirement ceremony was held at City Hall celebrating the top administrator's long and storied 21-year career with the City of McAllen. Afterward, Mr. Bettis attended a final City Commission meeting where it was declared Mike Bettis Day.
So maybe now that I'm 62 years old, maybe it's time for me to grow up. And I want to thank all the mayors and all the city commissioners and all the community leaders and all the employees for allowing me to play in the City of McAllen for 21 and a half years. Thank you very much.
And that wraps up another edition of McAllen Update. Thanks for tuning in. For the City of McAllen, I'm Roxanne LERMA.
And I'm Roy CANTU. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and McAllen.net. Have a great day, folks, and thanks for joining us.